Hello everyone, my name is Havian and today I'm going to be talking to you about Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. Because quite a bit of information about the game has been released over the past few days thanks to TGS. And so now I can go over some of the things that I need to catch up on and some of the things that they revealed this morning at TGS at the Bandai Namco stage event. So they did announce the release date for the Japanese version of Fatal Bullet. And that is going to be on February the 8th, 2018. It's still listed as an early release in the West for 2018, but I'm just hoping that it's still going to be pretty close to the Japanese release date, because that is something they seem to be aiming for since they first announced the game. So one of the things that were revealed in the presentation that was given today was some of the new characters or some of the returning characters that will be coming back to Fatal Bullet. And in that they did show some new character designs for Kirito and Sinon. We've seen some of their outfits previously, but they may have been placeholders just until they got the final designs done. But here we can see the final designs for Kirito and Sinon, as well as Lifa, Asuna, Lisbeth, and Silica. I'm sure the original GGO outfits for Kirito and Sinon are still going to be in the game, but they're probably just going to be outfits that you can just change into. But during the trailer, there was a scene where Sinon was still wearing an old GGO outfit, so I'm still not 100% sure which outfit Sinon's going to use the main outfit for the storyline, but we at least know that Kirito is one that seems to be changed as this new one they're showing now as the default one. And we get to see what the two returning characters' weapon types are going to be. It looks like Lisbeth is going to be using a shotgun for one of her weapons. Not sure what the second one's going to be just yet, but it does look like Silica will be using the submachine gun. Now, this is something I mentioned in one of the previous videos I've made, but you are not going to be playing as Kirito as the main character in this game. The main character in this game is going to be a character that you create yourself. And during the game, you will be able to steer the direction of the story based on the decisions you make with this character. And it was something that I was wondering, but they have actually said that the storyline in this game is going to be much darker, which is a good thing. It's what I expected from GGO, so I'm kind of glad they're taking this route for this game. But from the trailer they did show, it does seem like the character is not going to speak. But I don't really mind that too much as long as the whole story is presented in a good way. But they have announced a few new characters that will be coming to the game. And the first of those new characters is Kureha. During the trailer they do say that she is a friend of yours, but they do make a point to let you know that she is not going to be playable in this game. And the second character is Zeliska. When I first saw her, she did remind me a bit of Straya, but they also did make a point to mention that this character was also not playable. And I have to wonder why they're making a point of saying they're not playable right now, because they did mention previously that some characters will be playable online. So I have to wonder why these two specifically they're mentioning that they're not playable. I wonder if they're going to be a part of one of the choices you need to make later on in the game. And the third character is an AI support character called Arthesis. And I'm going to assume that this character is going to be a focal point of the story as well, because in the trailer it does seem like either Kirito is trying to attack you to get to her and save her, or he's trying to attack her and you're blocking the way. So it's going to be interesting to see why or what the outcome of that actually is, and if the hard decisions you need to make during the game are going to revolve around what you do with this support character. And they have said that she will be customizable, and they're going to go into more detail about that at a later date. So I'm going to assume she's going to have much more customization than the other characters within the game that you can have on your party. And then she's going to be more of like a partner character that you can keep along with you throughout the game. And another thing that we've seen from the previous trailer is that it looks like the 2D visual novel style cutscenes may be getting left behind. I mean, they could still be there, but it does look like they're putting more effort into the way the story's presented, and it does seem like all of the cutscenes that they've shown in this trailer are in-engine. So if their aim is to make this game appeal to a wider audience, that seems to be a good step they're taking. Now, this is something I mentioned in one of the previous videos, but you can allocate your character's stat points. You can allocate the strength, vitality, intelligence, agility, dexterity, and luck. They seem to consume that CP points, and it seems like the cost of each of the stat points increases when you have more points within a certain stat. And I'm sure there is going to be a way to reset these points, but I am glad that we've got even more freedom in the way we can build our characters up. But it's going to be interesting to see what kind of builds the community are going to come up with in terms of your loadout and the stat allocations. And in terms of visual customization, it does look like there are a lot of outfits for your character, but it doesn't seem like you can customize the individual pieces of those outfits. But maybe there's going to be some sort of like a dyeing system so you can make them a little bit more personal. But it does look like outfits or costumes do have rarities attached. So I'm wondering if these outfits are going to be things that just drop from missions, or can you find them from enemies, or are they going to be things that you just buy directly from the shop? Or maybe it's actually something you craft, because we haven't really seen much in terms of the drop system yet, or materials and how those actually function. And in the trailer there was a male avatar that had female clothing in his inventory, so maybe there is going to be a way for you to re-customize your character even after you've made the character. And from the trailer we've seen some of these custom characters at various levels. I'm not entirely sure what the level cap is gonna be at release. I've seen characters up to level 63, so I'm gonna assume that it's gonna be capped at some point, but it'll be raised with DLCs, kind of like what they did with Hollow Realization. And speaking of Hollow Realization, this game is gonna have its own beta version just like Hollow Realization did. So for anyone that pre-orders the PS4 version digitally, you'll be able to play a part of the story and the first area of the game a bit before release. And in terms of the DLCs that I mentioned a little bit earlier, it seems like those DLC packs are going to have new dungeon quests, new enemies, and some new gameplay systems attached to them. But when it comes to the DLC, my main concern is how much content it has within them, and whether or not that DLC is going to release everywhere within a good time frame. And for those of you that like collector's edition, the Japanese version will have one. I'm not entirely sure what the Western versions are going to have just yet. I'm sure they will have a collector's edition, but in terms of the Japanese one, you're going to get a special box, you'll get a copy of the game, a 2-disc soundtrack CD set, special contents book, a Dengeki Nerve Gear Special Edition magazine, and a special product code for what I assume is probably going to be pre-ordered DLC for the main game. But there we go, that is all the information I have for you today in terms of Sword Art Online Fatal Bullet. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe and share it if you want to see more. If you want to view my live streams, then follow me on Twitch, and if you want to stay up to date with everything I'm doing, then be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. The links to those are in the description, along with the link to my gameplay channel where I have raw gameplay videos, trailers and past stream highlights, so be sure to subscribe there too. I'll be making some new videos very soon. But until I make those videos, I'll see you all later.